Let me paint a very quick mental picture for you. Imagine that you are a young creative at the very beginning of your career. You have just finished your degree, your short course, your training. Your freelancing portfolio website is up and live and ready to take you into the world of your chosen creative path. Whether that be writing, music, the arts, design, I'll let you decide. All the prep and the legwork is done, so you are basically ready to go. Then imagine that as soon as you get this feeling of being 100% ready to go and turn your passion into a creative business, you look around and you notice that a worldwide pandemic has just unfolded, putting most, if not all, of the creative industries on hold, and as a result, drastically decreasing the need and the demand for creative work. So what do you do now? Hey you guys, welcome back to our channel, the number one place for people who love design, art and all things creative. My name is Laz Here, you are watching DMB's channel, and this video is going to be one that I need as much as you might do, as I want this to be a creative guide to start the year. There is no way around it, we are all going through a really tough time. Major shifts are happening in all industries, so I felt like I should try my best and put a positive message out there and give out some freelancing advice for beginners in the creative industries, and everyone else of course who feels like they could use a little bit of creative motivation to start the year. I am going to give you 3 unique pointers, freelancing advice for beginners, which you can keep on mind as an aspiring creative at the very beginning of your career. Interested? Let's go. Okay, the first point you're not gonna like, so I thought let's just get it done and over with, and then later on we can move on to all the fun stuff, right? So first of all, you need to accept that this creative life, the idea of working for yourself, this was never going to be an easy ride anyway. It is not a steady career, and what's happening now in 2021 worldwide, just illustrating this point that you never really know what's on the corner. Ginormous obstacles can get in your way. I think there is this very false narrative going on in the world of freelancing. We tend to over-romanticize this idea of working from home, staying in your PJs with a hot drink and just, getting on with your work in like a very cozy, homey environment. Yeah, all of that sounds lovely, but it's really not for everyone. The job is not steady. There's no way around it. What I have personally noticed in my freelance career, that the beginning of the year, the very first month, January and February, tend to be very slow months anyway. There is a noticeable drop in the demand for creative work, for the very simple reason that people tend to overspend during the holidays, so after the holidays they want to save a little bit of money. This is not a general rule, you might get lucky and get some amazing jobs in January, it's just something that I have noticed in my work. It's just the way this game works. There's always the element of instability that you just wouldn't find in a 9-to-5 job. There's no career ladder either, it's not like you can see how your career can possibly progress in the coming years. It's more like snakes and ladders if you ask me. The path is not laid out. Your breakthrough projects might only come to you in like a year's time or 5 years time or 10 years time. No one knows because it's different for everyone. There is this great video here on YouTube with the actor Neil Patrick Harris who made this interview, and he was basically talking about the risky life of an actor, advice that he got when he was very young. I'm gonna link that video down here because it's really good, you should watch it. He's basically comparing the life of an actor to surfing. Let me just quickly paraphrase his chain of thought. Imagine that life is like surfing in the ocean. The waves in the ocean are opportunities, and your surfboard is everything you got. Your talent, your skills, your education. So the idea is that you go into the water and all you do is wait for a good wave. You don't know when that wave will come. And even if you see it coming, there's a lot of tricks to how to actually jump on it. If you're not ready, you might miss a good wave. Or you might jump on it too early and it's not taking you as far as it could. All you really do is look around and see what the other surfers are doing. Some are better than you, some are worse, but you all got the same ocean. At this point in time, we are going through a period when the ocean is calmer than usual. The waves are just not as lively as they are used to be, so my advice would be use this time wisely and get better at surfing. Some people will come to you and say that you should just change your surfboard or go to a completely different beach. And if you gotta pay the bills, it's okay to take a break and, get a part-time job at the surf shop. But my advice would be, even if you do that, please keep your surfboard polished. Practice as much as you can. And be ready, because eventually the waves will pick up, you know what I'm saying? That leads me to my second point, which is all about learning and experimenting, trying new things. Please know that by this I don't mean that you should rethink your whole career and retrain in something completely different. What I mean by this is expand and build on your existing knowledge and interests. Push the barriers and see how far you can take your discipline. You would be surprised where things can take you if you just keep your mind open. Let me give you an example. A year ago I had no clue how to edit videos. Like most creative and arty people, I'm quite introverted, I'm not very articulate. So I have never in my wildest dreams thought that YouTube is going to be the social platform that I will get the most comfortable with. But here we are. I pushed myself way out of my comfort zone and it has left an incredibly positive mark and impact on my creative work. Yes, my first couple videos are awful, of course. Even this one, looking back at it from 5 years time, I'm sure I will cringe. But who cares? The point is you are learning. I'm not saying that you should all start YouTube channels, I'm saying you should all approach your creative work from new, interesting, unexplored angles. Experiment. Build something. If you are normally a portrait photographer, why wouldn't you try taking photos of nature? Or if you are a singer-songwriter with an acoustic guitar, try rapping. Get Logic Pro and try make an EDM track. The result might be awful, of course, but who cares? You don't need to show it to anyone if you don't want to. Generally speaking, it is a good idea to document journeys like this on a social platform because, it's 2021. As much as I hate admitting it, as a creative, you need to show your work to as many people as possible. But the idea here is that you just basically let things happen and do things just for the sheer fun of it. The whole idea is that you need to step outside your comfort zone and think outside the box. You will learn so much about your craft as well as about yourself when you do stuff like this. Thing is, later on the line, once, you quote-unquote make it, it is likely that you will be known for one specific style or one specific product that you are good at, which clients will ask for again and again and again and again. So looking back, you will be glad that you did all this sort of experimenting while you still had the chance. Okay, and my third advice is something that has taken me absolute ages to realize. The very simple idea of collaboration and reaching out to like-minded people. Basically start big projects with other creatives. There is this false, toxic narrative out there about being self-made, which is partly due to social media and the way it works, but it's also because of the very nature of creative work. I did my degree in illustration, right? And very early on my studies I have noticed how much time I'm actually spending on my own, working alone in a little studio or in a little room. Of course there was a lot of other people in my course, 50 different illustrators, and we all just hung out, but at the end of the day we were 50 different people doing 50 different projects in 50 different styles. It took me ages to realize that, even if I'm the best illustrator in the whole wide world, at the end of the day I still only have 24 hours just like everyone else. I do know that we all want to be self-made and make it on our own because it just makes such a nice story. We glorify this narrative, especially on social media. We all see posts like this almost on a daily basis. We see like a 21-year-old guy who has become an overland millionaire on his own because he find a way to make sustainable socks or I don't know, something similar to that. The kind of stories, you must have seen them as well. Of course, that kind of stuff does happen every now and then, but what no one really talks about is how these overnight millionaires would have got so much further and so much faster have they shared the workload with like-minded people. I don't know if it is because of the way we consume media these days on our own as opposed to how previous generations did. Maybe it's just easier to think of big brands as, one person, one creator, rather than opening your eyes and see it takes hundreds, sometimes thousands of people to collaborate if you want to do something that is really, really big. But that's the thing, it is okay to ask for help. It is okay to team up, and it's 100% okay to give up a little bit of your artistic ego to be a part of something huge that you could just not be able to do on your own. I am not kidding when I say that under this umbrella name of Dantier and Balog, partnering up with Jacqueline, I have done so much more and grew so much bigger in a year than I did in my previous 2, 3, maybe 4 years in my creative career. I realize how isolated we all are at the moment, so much more than usual. And it's a cliche thing to say, but remember, whatever creative obstacles are getting in your way, you don't have to fight them alone. There are many, many of us out there who are willing to help you, because I think we should all help each other. You just need to ask. Okay, I hope there is something you can take away from this video, and I hope it offers you some help if you are finding it tough what's going on out there right now. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a big thumbs up because that really does support our little channel. And feel free to join our little design tribe. We make videos about art, design, illustration, graphics, interiors, architecture, all of that cool stuff. Take care guys, and I'll see you this time next week. Bye!